It's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. Chuck Wendig is an author I'm familiar with, but through Star Wars books. I've read a few of his books. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed his writing style, and I'd always heard that he was a well-known writer in the horror genre, which is honestly a genre I don't really read that much. I'm not a huge horror fan. I'll watch, occasional horror movie, but it's usually the ones that get a good really reputation, like, oh, this movie's amazingly made, and it just happens to be a horror movie. I'm not one that's really super into gore and stuff like that, so the horror genre in regard to books is something I typically don't really read a whole lot of. But I enjoyed his Star Wars stuff so much time, I was like, I saw the name and I recognized that, so I picked the book up, read the back cover, and it's like, this sounds like a really interesting concept. I think I want to try this one out. And I'm really glad I did. I enjoyed it a lot. There were definitely horror aspects of it, some scary elements of it, but not too gory or too graphic that it took me out of it, because I'm not really into slasher movies and stuff. It's bloody just for the sake of being bloody. I felt like in this case, all the scary elements, all the violence, all the psychological elements of this book that make it scary were in service to the story and the plot and the character development, and I really enjoyed that. The basic concept is this book starts out at some high school friends. They're going hiking to have a party in the woods and enjoy their weekend, and while they're in the woods, as the title suggests, they discover a staircase just in the woods where there shouldn't be a random staircase. There's no house or building attached. And this is really not a plot spoiler because this is kind of revealed very early in the book. And so basically, these friends, like you would imagine a bunch of high schoolers would do, begin to dare each other. Like, somebody should climb these stairs. We should do it. Climb the stairs. See what's the deal with this. One friend does, is joking around on it, and then suddenly he just disappears. Not falls off the stairs and gets hurt or dies. Climbs up the stairs and just disappears. The other friends, some who are maybe under the influence of drugs and alcohol at the moment, are completely befuddled. They don't know what happened. They may think we didn't see something wrong. He must have tricked us. He's the smartest member of our friend group. He's playing a trick on us. He could have just disappeared in thin air. So they spend a day trying to find him in the woods, and they realize he's just nowhere. We're going to have to make up a story because otherwise the police are going to think we killed him, did something to him, and so that's what happens. And as you can imagine, this event dramatically impacts everybody else in this friend group for the rest of his life. So we catch up in the book, these characters. It's been a decade or two, I believe. I think about 15, 20 years is somewhere in there. Apologize for misremembering the exact date. But it's been long enough that they're well into adulthood. And this event is still having a huge impact on them psychologically. And then one of the friends contacts the other ones and basically lets them know, hey, I have cancer, I'm dying. I know we haven't really hung out since high school, mainly because of these events that happened. I would like to hang out with my friends one last time. Why don't y'all come back home and see me and hang out, and we'll have a going away send-off as I will soon be passing away. As you imagine, when you get these friends back together last time, they were really kind of tight. A mystery happened. The mystery might reappear. And this book is really all about exploring what's behind the stairs in the woods. Where does the stair in the woods take you? Why does it take you there? What's the reason for it? And how it impacts each individual differently, and what secrets it reveals to them, to the rest of their friend group. It is very fascinating. The characters in this book are really well done. At various points, you find yourself rooting for a certain character, and then a couple chapters later, it's what? This character is actually annoying me now. Now I think I'm rooting for a different character. And by the end of the book, you've probably circled around at one point. You've been rooting for one of the characters as your favorite at a certain point, and at other points, it became your least favorite character. It's a horror book. Obviously, you're going into it, is everybody going to survive? Is everybody going to die? Is only one person going to survive? So you're constantly guessing and developing different character attachments as the story goes along. So I would say if you're looking for a very interesting horror, scary story, I would really recommend this. To me, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a well-known movie from earlier this year that I really enjoyed, Weapons. I'm not saying the plot is any way familiar, other than there's an element to the plot where some people disappear and the community's trying to struggle with what happened, and unraveling that mystery and how it impacts different people. This book, instead of a lot of kids disappearing in Weapons, in this book it's about one person disappearing. Instead of how it impacted the entire community, how it impacted a friend group, and how that impacted the rest of their life and how they developed as adults. So a very fascinating book that does have its scary elements. So if you don't like reading scary stuff, if you consider yourself a chicken, maybe this is the book for you. But maybe if you're interested in trying horror, maybe if you're really into the genre and you just haven't read this book, I would really recommend it. I would say again, if you like the movie Weapons, I think you might like this book. So I definitely would recommend The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. If you enjoyed this review, please hit the like button. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. As I mentioned, I don't really read a whole lot of horror, so if you do read a lot of horror and you'd like to recommend a book or author for me, let me know in the comment section below and maybe I'll check it out. Again, hope you enjoyed this review. See you the next time. Happy reading.